What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Terrafirmacraft, and we are kind of moving along. Now, today I had hoped that we would be able to get... whoops. I'd hoped we would be able to get a forge going, but I'm not sure that's going to work out for this episode, strictly because of how long it takes to get some of those. Because mainly I've got to go find stone, and at the current time I can't really... I'm not technologically advanced enough. I don't have enough science to do it. So it's kind of a bummer. But I decided to add a couple more sluices. Or, well, I don't know what the plural of a sluice is, but I decided to make a few of them. I was going to try and make something all cool and shit over here, where I was going to have like a bunch of different arcs out off of a center water source, and then the center water source was going to be like 1 brick long. It was going to be all badass, and then like I realized if I actually did that, it would kind of look like a swastika, and I wasn't quite sure I wanted to go that route. So I figured, you know what, we'll just stick to digging trenches. Alrighty, so today what we're going to do is something kind of in preparation for our forge. Since we don't have the ability to make our forge quite yet, what we're going to be doing, and we're going to do it... well, no, I can't do it there now. What we're going to make is a charcoal. Now, charcoal in normal Minecraft is pretty easy to do. All you simply do is gather up some wood and then you burn it in the forge. And that works out pretty easy. Well, in Terrafirmacraft, it's not so simple like anything else in Terrafirmacraft. If you're not screaming and raging in anger, then, well, you're probably doing it wrong. So what we need to do first is we need to clear off a nice little area for our stuff. And then what we're going to want is to gather a ton of logs and get enough, because you still have to burn wood for it to work, but it burns in a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this area completely set up to where we can have plenty of room to do this. And I'm going to gather a ton of logs, and then we'll pick up there. Alright, so we have now gathered enough wood, and what we want to do now is set up an area for our logs. Now you're going to notice that I'm kind of crouching when I do this. You have to shift click when you drop these, and you'll notice that you kind of lay them around in a nice little area like this. Well, you can open them up and you can see all of the logs inside. You can see it takes 16 to fill each one of these. Well, if you take the time to fill these up completely, then you will get drastically more resources when they fully farm. So it's kind of a pain in the ass when you first start, because you got all this wood that you got to go and farm, but at the same time it really pays off dividends later on when you don't have to really worry about it so much. Because if you do this right, you only have to really do it once, and then it kind of balances out and just makes it a lot easier in the late game. Alright, we can put 4 and 4. And you can mix and match. Now, I've got, as you can see, I chopped all that time. I got just enough wood to do the basic here. So we're going to go and mine a little bit more so we can fill in the rest of this, and then we'll pick up there. One of the things to keep in mind while you are chopping all of these trees, and if you decide to do the maxed out one, it's going to take you a while, because you're going to basically deforest everything around you. I believe it's 42 blocks to get all of the wood that you need, and it's 16 logs per block. And if you do the math on that, that's an epic shit ton of trees. So make sure that you actually take the time to break the branches on those trees before you cut them down. If you just cut them down, you're going to miss out on all these twigs. And while you may not need them right now, due to the rampant amount of deforestation you're doing, if you don't do it, you may find yourself without trees or without saplings. And, it may take you an extra 45 minutes to an hour to get all those logs, but, if that's the last tree you ever get, you're going to run out of tools really fast, and it's going to suck balls. You're going to have to sit around and wait for the 1 or 2 trees that you've got to grow. So take the time, go ahead and completely whack all the bushes, as much as that sucks, and make sure that you get enough saplings and enough logs to keep your tools going. These are the kind of trees that you want to come get. My God, this thing is huge. Reminds me of those Thaumcraft, I call them the Thaumcraft peanut butter trees. I don't know what anybody else calls them, but those big ass great wood trees in Thaumcraft. Holy shit. It ate my axe. Like, we didn't get anything out of that. Look at that. Holy crap. Yeah, apparently each individual wood block, breaking it has a durability on your axe. So if you don't meet the durability requirement, you just... Wow! It just ate my damn... Wow. It took me 2 axes to chop this bitch down. 3 axes, technically. Damn! How far into this axe is it going to take? This is ridiculous. Good lord. That is a... Wow, and I'm full of logs. That is epic! Well, this, here I am. I've been over here chopping these little small bitch trees, and we've got these giant fucking prehistoric megalith trees over here I should have been chopping. While you're out harvesting around, you're going to want to keep your eyes out for stuff like this. These are wild carrots, which is one type of crop that you can find while you're roaming around. You'll definitely want to keep your eye out for them, though, because since crops do take quite a long time to grow, it will drastically help your food sources if you can find natural growths that you don't necessarily have to grow. All right, so this right here is the basic pile. And as you can see right there, we've got a fairly decent setup. Now the tricky part comes in securing it. Unlike... that whole thing is basically going to be on fire. And so we're going to have to fill it in with dirt. Well, almost completely fill it in with dirt. So we're going to need quite a bit of this crap. So we're going to go ahead and fill our inventory up with all this dirt, which is the main reason I kept most of it around. Now, one thing you're going to notice fairly quickly in Terrafirmacraft is dirt and things don't behave, as you can see right there, like you used to. So it takes a little while sometimes to fill things in with dirt. There we go. That actually worked out pretty good. Whoops. And we're probably going to lose some more. Yep. Now you want to be very careful while doing this, because if you do it wrong, it will crush you. And, you know, you don't want to suffocate. You don't want to suffocate in dirt. It's not a fun way to go. Well, so I hear. Alright. Now, not all the time will it collapse, but it's usually a good idea if you go ahead and fill the whole thing in. It just keeps nasty surprises from happening. And you really don't want nasty surprises while you're dealing with fire. Now, the tricky part about this is here in a minute when you actually get to the lighting phase. Good God. There we go. When you light this little monster, it lights up pretty quickly. So you've got about 2 to 3 seconds to seal it before, you know, it lights you and everything else on fire. So you want to be very, very careful on how you do this. And I've burned the shit out of myself more times than not trying to get this set up. Now, here's the trickier part. Come on. There we go. You can't get too close to the center here, and I'll show you why in a second. Because if you're not careful, it'll fall in there, and that's where you're going to be putting your fire pit. So you want to be very, very careful how you lay this out. And the dirt doesn't always cooperate. Right now it's cooperating very nicely with me. There, it's not cooperating at all. That's what you want to be careful with, because if you seal the top in and then it does that, it burns out your little fire in the middle, and that kind of sucks. So you kind of got to be careful with how all this shit goes down. There we go. Alright, perfect. Okay, so we need one more stack of 16 logs that we will be throwing on top of this. And I'm hoping that little dirt thing at the bottom isn't going to screw things up, but we'll find out here in a second. Okay, so this is the final stage. You want to be very, very careful with this. So we're going to go ahead and throw in 1, 2, 3 sticks in the middle. And, okay, I've got plenty. All right, so you... Oh, I'm not... Damn it! All right, we'll dig this out. There we go. Okay. Am I close enough now? Seriously? Oh, it's because I'm not using my fire starter. I'm retarded. I bet the fire starter will reach. 1 second. And of course, now it's getting nighttime. Hold. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, I have to dig that out. Oh well, no big deal. There we go. There's our little fire. Now before you jump off, you need to fill it with logs so that it burns the whole way. And then you want to get off of it quickly. Now right here, you want to click there, just like that, like you would normally. And then fill it full of logs, so it's full. And now you see it lights. And then you just cover this little thing in. And now, this whole little thing here is burning. Actually, let me go ahead and rest real quick, because the creepers and everything are going to come out here in a minute, and I don't want to die. Anyways, that whole thing is going to burn for, I think it's 18 minutes. It's like a day and a half of game time. And don't open it. Just make sure you've got all the wood and such in there. And occasionally you'll hear some crackles and pops, and you used to be able to see like a little fire effect up here. But it's burning. It's doing its thing, and you just got to leave it alone and let it cook. You'll know it's done when the top of this collapses, and before we end this video, I'll show you guys what that looks like. Now, while we're waiting on that to go, we're going to set up our forge, which, well, I guess it'll work right here. Need to dig this out real quick. Now, for the forge to work, it needs to have basically this configuration. It needs to be surrounded by 5 pieces of stone on the sides and on the bottom. And I'm pretty sure rock counts. I may be off, but I'm pretty sure it does. And then basically, unlike the fire, what do you call it? The little fire pits, you're going to use charcoal in here. Now you can use coal as well, but coal's a little bit harder to find, and charcoal's fairly easy once you get enough trees chopped. And like I said, aim for those big ass tall trees out there. They'll fill you up really quickly, and it's not quite such a problem. You don't end up running around chopping these little bitches forever. I mean, it'll take you a good hour or two if you stick to the little small ones. So once we've got this done, I'll show you guys how to farm it. One of the things you do need to make sure you have, though, is a shovel. And we'll go ahead and create one of those now. Shovel is how you actually harvest the quote-unquote coal or charcoal. So now that we've got our shovel made, we just need to wait till the top collapses, and we should be good to go. We'll skip ahead there, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Take one last good look at the top of this, the way it looks now, and then I'll show you what the difference is here in a sec. Alright, so now a night's gone by, and you can kind of see there's some holes that have slipped through. If you take a closer look, you can see the dirt has kind of collapsed in on itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and peel this layer of dirt back so you guys can get a decent look. And you actually see where the dirt collapses inside onto the charcoal. Now you want to be careful with this. It looks like it's a lot more functional than the last time I played it, but this can occasionally bug out, or at least it used to be able to, and you couldn't see all of this charcoal, but it looks pretty solid now. So let me go store this dirt real quick, and then we're going to go fill up on charcoal, and you guys will see how much charcoal we get for just that one little fire. And again, unlike you know, a lot of other versions of Minecraft, it does take a very long time to get this, but it's kind of one of those things you don't have to do all of that often. All right, hopefully we have enough charcoal here. Let's see. Pretty sure we're gonna have plenty. Now you will need a shovel to dig this out. And as you can see, it's kind of like mining. You're just going to kind of work your way slowly down. And each log has a chance to drop a certain number of charcoal. So, as you can see, this is a hell of a lot of charcoal. Probably end up with at least a stack or two out of this, I think. Yeah. So we've done basically one outer stack. And you can see how you just kind of chip away at it from here as the block gets smaller and smaller, which is kind of a cool effect if you ask me. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and mine all of this out. Probably take me a good 5-10 minutes, and then we will make our forge. One thing I did want to mention while you're mining all of this out, be careful because the outer walls, as you pull out the inner walls, have a tendency to collapse. As you'll see right here, this whole area collapsed in. So be careful. Most of the time it's not going to bury you alive, but you know, you don't want to be AFK. Yep, see? Just like that. So you don't want to be just relaxing, not paying attention. Next thing you know, help, help, I'm dying. So try to mine from the inside out. So that way when things collapse, you don't really necessarily get trapped. And if you mine from up on top of those, when they collapse, they will do damage to you. Probably, again, not enough to kill you, but something to be aware of. Alright, so as you can see, we have now finished clearing off our little area. It's not as pretty as it was the other day, but it definitely served its purpose. We got 3.5, 3 2/3 stacks of charcoal, and that's a pretty good start. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to make our forge, and our forge is what we will use to pretty much advance our technology from here. So what you want to do is you want to come over to the forge. You got to have 4 pieces of stone and 1 on the bottom. And you want to throw 9 pieces of charcoal or coal into the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the reason you want to do it as a individuals is it won't work as a stack. Come on. Oh! And there we go. There's our forge. Kind of awesome looking. And as you can see, unlike the normal fires and such, you can cook a lot more things at once in here than you can in a normal setup. So this will allow you to cook food significantly faster because you can cook 5 at a time, or, pretty much whatever you want to do. Anyways, this pretty much concludes this episode. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, please click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.